Stupid Garbage Podcast.
Oh, I like that.
There you go.
Just did my touch, huh?
I guess. Your weird little peep fingers. How are you doing, darling?
You know that 3 a.m. is prime snack time.
3:22 in the 3:23 in the a.m., dear reader. Kata says we're turning over from 1 minute to the next. Do you think that marshmallows coated in sugar are the best, because they are both crunchy and squishy, are the best snack to eat while on the radio? You can't even eat correctly and spitting all over yourself. Why did you want to do this right now? You've had like 48 hours to eat Peeps since we recorded our last podcast, and you're waiting until right now. Say something, for the love of Christ.
Easter was like a month ago, and here I am.
Jessica.
Just crunching on the Peeps.
What? I don't know.
Oh my god. So I have a question.
Yeah.
I
can't keep the motivation of even a single sentence going long enough to reach the end of that sentence. I just lose hope. Go ahead.
New hope, I'll give you one.
What's your question?
Okay. Do you think it would be wise? Definitely should have asked you this before the podcast started, but I thought, no, they'll love this. Do you think... So we watched Star Wars Episode 1. So I'm wondering if you think
Phantom Menace.
we should give them a goddamn break from the Star Wars bullshit and do a normal podcast?
No, fuck them and fuck you too.
Okay. So I'll just do review. And that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Every day the same. Jesus Christ. Same as it ever was.
I have to say the Star Wars thing has given me a lot of purpose. Well, not so much purpose.
It's one of the sadder things you've ever said to me.
A thing to do.
That's a long and sad list of depressing utterances. What are you looking at? I can't drink water while you're eating your second Peep? Are you kidding me?
Those Peeps are making me thirsty.
We have several sinks in this house. So, what? Just what? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. Who's on first? What is your opinion? I
think it's the baseball
He's
reference.
on third.
Did I get it? Baseball?
No. Well, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I was saying he plays first base should have tipped you off.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you didn't say first base. You just
no,
said
you're
first.
right.
He could be the first down. I don't know.
Abbott. Yeah, I guess he could be
the
on
first
down.
hole.
Yeah, we get it. You know vague sports terms.
Love first.
Right. So, love me do. The routine I'm quoting is Abbott and Costello, who's on first. Undoubtedly their most famous work. When you walk into Cooperstown, I think I've said this on the podcast before. When you walk into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, they are the first faces you see, are Abbott and Costello, who never played or owned or coached or anything in professional or even minor league baseball in any capacity. It's just they had that routine that was quite famous, and it's still quite famous. It doesn't matter. None of this fucking matters. We watched Star Wars. What do you have to say about that? Go off on some inane, pointless tangent for 40 minutes.
Are you okay?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, of course not. And in the more specific, less grand scheme of things, also no.
What do you mean in the grand scheme of things? Of course not.
In the lesser scheme of things, no. In the grand scheme of things, we're all dying and the universe is approaching entropy. And in the lesser scheme of things, I'm recording this goddamn garbage podcast doing a Star Wars review for the 4th day in a row. So no, I'm not good on any cosmic or macrocosmic scale.
Do you want to go to bed?
I would have loved to go to bed like 20 minutes ago, but we're already here, so same as it ever was.
I've been waiting for you for an hour.
Jessica, listen.
I feel like something's not adding up. 10 chicks. Now 7 chicks. I'll show them.
I'm so constantly confused as to how any thought process could ferry you to the destination that you end up at. Everything you say is an enigma. that's not worth exploring.
Oh.
It's like if you're going on a walk, it's like if you're walking to your car. You leave your house and you walk down your front path and you see what is unmistakably a pile of horse shit between you and your car. And you go, no one in my neighborhood owns a horse. I haven't seen a horse in thinking about it now, I don't know, 2 months? Like, no one rides horses around here. How is there horse? There's no doubt that's horse shit. How is there horse shit here? It's not even worth exploring. It's weird and gross and starting your day on a terrible note, but there's no point. Solving this mystery is only going to cause you more grief. That's what I feel like every time you say something.
What do you have? Abominable, Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
Truly.
Thank you. The defense rests. What do you have to say about Star Wars: The Phantom Menace?
Okay, so thing one, so my first comment...
The Phantom Menace, yeah.
My first comment was going to be, like, whether or not I thought that it was trash or not.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Or not was redundant. But anyway, so yeah, I think, like, from someone who doesn't really care, and, like, I think, again, like, I was raised in a household where Star Wars was a huge deal because my dad was obsessed with it, and I think if I could just take a step back and look at Star Wars for what it really is and not what it meant to me as a kid and what it meant to my dad, who I love, Star Wars is fine. Like you said last night after we shut the podcast off, you were like, I like Star Wars just like I like any other movie. Like, it's,
Yeah, it's like the Mission Impossible franchise, or...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, what was that movie with Knives Out? That movie we saw. It's a fine movie, but I don't care. Like, I don't have a Knives Out poster in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't have a Daniel Craig action figure or anything.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. It was a fine movie. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
That's
agree.
how I view Star Wars.
I would agree. Like, I did enjoy it, but I definitely don't think I would have given it a second thought. I was just like, okay, I saw it. So, yeah, I think in that frame, like, I didn't find this movie very bad.
Yeah, no.
I thought it was pretty close.
This movie, I don't think there's any doubting that this movie was worse.
Yeah.
Than any of whatever, pick your poison for the worst of the original three.
Yeah.
This one was worse. This one's worse than any and all of them. But I would say that this one is clearly geared a little bit more towards kids. The hero was like 7 years old, and Jar Jar Binks, maybe the most racist character in all of movie history.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of...
We'll get to the racism later.
Yeah, we can circle back. But I would say that, let's say your favorite Star Wars movie is an 8, right? You think A New Hope is a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, and then Empire is an 8, and then Return of the Jedi is like a 6.5. I don't fucking care. This one's probably like a 4. It's not a 1 like everyone says it.
Yeah.
And if you think that, Empire Strikes Back is the best movie ever made, it's an 11, then this is like a 5.5. It's half of whatever Empire was, or whatever the best one was. And frankly, if you make a couple of quick, like, as I told you, I haven't seen these movies since they came out. I've seen snippets of Revenge of the Sith, just like on TV or whatever. I'll watch it for 5 minutes.
You remember them surprisingly well, considering.
Yeah, I saw these once when they came out in theaters.
Crazy.
That being said, I remember these movies and have heard people talk about these movies in a way that made me think they were a lot worse. That if this movie, as we talked about, Topher Grace took this trilogy, the prequel trilogies, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and from 7 hours or so of that trilogy of the films, turned it into like a 3-hour supercut, wherein he turned it into just one slightly longer than average movie. That was a more, from what people, I've never seen that either. I should probably watch before I talk about it, but was a more coherent and just a better, faster moving prequel storyline. Having just seen The Phantom Menace again, frankly, that doesn't sound like it would be that hard. If you told me, because I would say there's definitely an hour of film in this worth saving and salvaging.
Yeah.
This movie, according to Disney Plus, which is what we watched on, was 2 hours and 17 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
So the runtime is probably like 2:13 without the credits.
Sure.
So if you told me half of this was worth saving, I'd say absolutely it was. No doubt. I'd say if you, again, both from like a Topher Grace editing perspective or from a George Lucas creating this franchise in the first place perspective, you make a couple of relatively easy fixes.
Yeah.
this is as good as any of the original movies.
That's what
if
I'm
you
saying.
get rid of Jar Jar Binks
Yes.
and those weird Gungans and his boss aliens, which is very simple. You don't even have to get rid of the character.
His boss aliens?
The weird boss aliens that would slobber all over the place. The ones that look like green frogs. His
Like
bosses.
the
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Gungans. Whatever the fuck they're called.
Oh, well, you said Gungans and then boss aliens. So I thought
Well,
they were
they're different species. It doesn't fucking
Okay.
matter. Who fucking cares? I'm not getting this far into the weeds in this.
Okay.
So you don't even have to get rid of Jar Jar Binks and his compatriots.
No, you do.
You don't. Make them mute like the Ewoks.
Sure.
Fucking fine.
Sure.
And then
Yeah, I mean, the water scene, as I told you, was one of the things that
Interesting.
I remember.
probably more visually pleasing than anything in the original trilogy.
Yeah, agreed.
Get rid of Jar Jar Binks and his friends' whatever dialogue.
Fucking disgusting.
Get rid of maybe like the worst 25% of the child acting. A lot of it was fine.
The child acting was not bad.
A lot of it was perfectly serviceable. Get rid of like 2 or 3 scenes and a couple of lines here and there. Cut
Yep.
like 5 minutes from the movie, maybe not even. And then also get rid of like, again, from what people talk about this movie like it's an hour and 40 minutes of talk about intragalactic politics and trade federations and embargoes and like 30 minutes of lightsaber battles. It's not.
No.
It's like a scene too much of galactic politics and trade embargoes. You
yeah,
get rid of
it wasn't-
3 minutes of that and just replace it with a little more spaceship starfighter battles.
Again, like I said,
That's it. That's all I have to do. Shut up Jar Jar Binks, cut a little bit of the child acting and like the childish... Like the pod racing scene was probably like 60 seconds longer than
too
it needed
long.
to be on either end, like the start and the finish. And just cut down a little bit of the galactic politics and replace it with a little more spaceships and shit. This movie is just as good as
Again-
Return of the Jedi or A New Hope.
agreed.
Just as good.
That's what I said. My biggest complaint with the original trilogy was the fact that I was saying like the big grand scheme shit was really annoying to me. Like where it, like when they had their individual plans, I thought it was fine, but then when it was like the whole rebel fleet doing one thing, it was just like, okay, we get it. You don't need to summarize the plan to this much, you know.
Sure.
So I was saying like that was my biggest complaint. Like that bothered me and I was bored and I didn't find it as exciting or fast paced as the rest of it.
Yeah.
Same exact comment with this. It was like, oh, the trading and tax bullshit. It's like, yeah, that was in the original trilogy. It was just a slightly different.
Yeah.
Like
And,
it was
to
just
be
it was
fair-
just like Death Star plans instead of tax issues and slavery.
To at least give some platform. If you have since 1977 have been jerking off over Star Wars,
Exactly. That was
And-
going to be my point too.
were really, 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 really into Star Wars, I would understand being disappointed that you don't see Luke, you don't see Leia,
Yeah.
Vader is 7 years old and not Vader, you don't see Chewbacca or Han Solo, you don't see the Death Star, any of that shit.
Yeah.
I get that would be a little... The only character who really carries over is Obi-Wan and Yoda. That's
But
pretty much it.
that's
Those are the only
coming,
two.
right? Does do Han
No, Han Solo never shows up in this movie. When
or
in
Luke and
this
Leia are
trilogy,
just babies?
Luke and Leia,
Spoiler
spoiler
alert.
alert, are born, and then 3 minutes later, the
Yes.
third movie ends. The trilogy ends. The prequel trilogy.
Yeah. Okay.
Han Solo presumably would be like, I don't know, 10 years old or something. He's
Cutie.
a little older than Luke and
Yeah.
Leia, but he's not so much older. So
He's like
he would,
fucking around. Yeah.
yeah, so he's not relevant. Chewbacca's... I think the Wookiees in some capacity make an appearance in the third movie. But, yeah, so it's... I understand...
Oh, you have R2 and C-3PO.
Sure, there you go. That's something. I understand from
I-
a fan service perspective being a little... But you should have known when they
Honestly,
said,
like-
this is a prequel. Like,
Yeah,
they probably
yeah.
made some press release, like, 1996, saying, like, oh, yeah, no, this is not...
way
You're not going to see
prequel.
Leia, you're not going to see Luke, you're not going to see Han.
Honestly,
So-
I find the villain to be the most exciting character always. So to me, like
Sure.
the fact that this is like a villain origin story, that's great. Like I
Sure.
think that's amazing.
And then the villain within this story, within this movie, Darth Maul,
was a boss bitch.
bad as hell.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Came onto the scene with his Louboutin red bottoms, but he was a great character, and he only had like 2 lines.
His voice was silky smooth too. That was weird. I expected him to just kind of sound like
It was a weird thing to say, sure, but
he.
I
All right, Emperor, would you like me to attack? Like it was just a
didn't
beautiful,
sound anything like
soothing
that.
voice. My God.
Darth Maul in the studio, folks. But yes, he
Anyway.
he was great.
He was
again, this
capable.
movie was yeah, go ahead.
They didn't address the fact that he had like I was watching spoiler alert, like him and Obi-Wan fighting. I guess it's not really a spoiler, but anyway, I was watching them fighting, and Obi-Wan, it almost looked like his character was like doubled up in speed because he had to like boom, 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 like he had to be so fast to fight Darth Maul, and I was like, wow, poor Obi-Wan. But then I was looking at Darth Maul, and it looked like he was struggling to yield his lightsaber too. Like I was like, oh shit, like fighting. Wield. Yield is to slow down. Well, like a yield sign. He was trying very hard to wield his weapon. Yeah. And I was thinking like, oh, it must be really hard for him actually to train with a double lightsaber. Like that's a good point too. So they didn't give him enough credit for fighting with a badass, probably
good point,
very
Jess.
difficult.
Thanks, Jess. Good job, me.
Oh, did you not think it was a good point?
Well, I'm not saying it's a good or bad point. I'm saying it's cute that you rewarded yourself for making a good point in your own head.
Well, no. They should have made the point.
And so I thought that's a good point. In response to your own line of thought.
I thought that they should have called more attention to the fact that he had a boss weapon. Like, it's, that looks difficult to wield.
Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, you were saying.
Well, it's fine, doesn't matter. But, yeah, Darth Maul, cool. This movie, again, not superb, but,
it wasn't bad.
Not terrible.
Because I was trying to frame it, because we have Marvel in our generation. Like, that's what we're obsessed with, to the point of whatever Star Wars dumb. But I feel it's the same thing as saying, like, oh, like, we've been waiting 10 years for the next Marvel. It finally came out, and it was a little bit more targeted to kids than we expected, but I feel like that's been happening with Marvel too. I'm
gonna be frank. If you were one of those dorks who was like, let's say 17 when the first Star Wars came out, like right up your alley, you can appreciate the adult motifs, but you're young enough to get away with being obsessed with this stupid fucking movie. Then by the time this movie comes out, you'd be like 39.
That's a big jump.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it. I'm sorry this movie didn't live up to your expectations. Get a life.
Yeah.
Get a life, frankly.
And, like, again, like, I felt like there was a lot of cool...
This movie's not for you.
There was a lot of cool Jedi shit where, it was, like, a whole thing... What's the thing that the superhero...
The Force.
No, the circle of elders kind of thing. Like, that's, I feel like, in a lot of superhero movies,
council.
Too. Yeah.
The Jedi Council, yeah.
There was a cool, badass council of...
I like that, the Circle of Elders. You gotta start calling it that.
But, like, there's...
a retirement home.
There's a...
They're just playing bridge.
There was a bunch of cool Jedi.
Yeah.
And,
just at the Mahjong table.
And Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan did a lot of...
Qui-Gon. For 6 years, you've been calling him Qui-Gon, and I don't understand why. It's not written or... Qui-Gon, not Qui-Gon. It's not Q-U-A-Y. It's Q-U-I. Qui-Gon. He says it...
Is it not Q-U-A-I?
No.
It's Q-U-I?
Yes.
Qui-Gon?
No. Jessica, no. Qui-Gon. This isn't even like a Han scenario.
No, they all did pronounce it
Qui. That's because that's his name.
Okay.
Another thing... K-W-I, if that helps.
I think this movie was my introduction to Liam Neeson as a child. And it's funny because I remember, like, as a kid, like, I only knew I was like, oh, that's Qui-Gon. He's so beautiful and he has...
Qui-Gon.
What?
It's Qui-Gon.
I wish. He has luscious, gorgeous, amazing hair and just beauty all abound. And when I saw this movie, I was like, oh god, that's Liam Neeson with long hair. Like, it did not translate at all. Like, I wasn't like, oh, that's Qui-Gon. I was like, no. That's Liam Neeson. And it ruined all of the sexual tension that I was planning on having in this movie, and I was pretty disappointed in that.
Following that sentence was the worst roller coaster ride I've ever gone on in my life.
I expected
it just kept going down,
drooling the entire movie.
You just slammed me into the ground.
I was like, wow, I gotta watch.
I don't understand.
Qui-Gon Jinn being sexy.
I don't understand why.
2 hours and 20
I don't
minutes.
understand why you do this to me when you just talk and just say, forget it.
That was sad.
What, you have notes?
Yeah, I do.
The Jedi run like the Flash. That was fucking weird.
That was weird. All of a sudden, they're just like... Bzz.
Like, oh, we gotta get out of here. Zoink, Scoob!
Yeah,
and then it's almost like... Yeah, like they're... That was not bad. It's almost like they leave a cloud of dust in their wake. They just blur off the screen.
And they jumped like 25 feet.
Yeah, they launched themselves. Although I think Luke at least did like backflips and jumped up on.
Yeah. That didn't
into a
surprise me, but yeah,
railing or something.
this one was like that didn't happen in the originals, but
They're jellicle cats. Can fly through the air.
dude, the entire time I was doing the dishes, I was singing, or no, it was in the shower. I don't know. I was doing some chore.
Water was around me. Moisture abound.
And sadly not from Qui-Gon, but water was abound, and I was just singing the fucking Railway Cat song that you always sing.
Skimble Shanks the...
Oh, we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Railway.
Bad.
Railway gin.
Okay, so... Oh, wait, look how I spelled his name.
Q-U-E.
Quay.
Queequeg. You're thinking of Moby Dick. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I think I'm Moby Dick for what? Yeah, I don't get the reference. Because I'm a whale, Rob.
Just read your notes. Just read your godforsaken notes. Please, just do
Ewan's
something.
ponytail.
Ewan. Ewan is not a human name, as I told you,
Ewan?
Jessica, yesterday. Listen to me. Yes, Ewan. Ewan is not a name. Ewan McGregor.
I'll ask him.
All right, Ewan's ponytail.
His ponytail was disgusting.
And also has a rat tail.
And also...
He has two separate... He has a little braid on the left side of his head. Like he's in some sort of Little Rascals gang or something.
That was weird.
And then also a ponytail that's only like 1.5 inches long.
It was...
Off the middle of the back of his head, like a ponytail. He has two separate pieces of hair attached to the back of his head.
Yeah.
And then the rest of his hair is really short.
Yep.
It looks like he has two extensions. Like plugged on the back of his head. He probably did.
Yeah.
But it looks like that, and it shouldn't look like that.
It was weird. Also, he's so young. Like, he's such a sweet little bit. Like,
he was 11.
Liam Neeson looks exactly the same now. Like, he looks a little bit older, but he has the same face. But
yeah, I think he was like 50 when this movie came out, or thereabouts, late 40s.
Are you joking? Because I feel like, really?
Yep.
But like when he made Taken and...
I think he was 54 when he made Taken.
Yeah, but Taken wasn't like 2004, was it?
I think it was around then.
Oh shit. Whatever.
I'll look it up.
Either way, Liam Neeson looks like what I remember and like currently
Liam Neeson.
See him, looking like, but Ewan was just so young looking.
Liam Neeson.
You're mean.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so to touch on the racism a little bit.
Please, by all means. He was born in 52, the same year as my dad was born. Yeah, so he was 46 or 47.
Wow, okay. Anyway, he looked really good. He looked really good for 47. Just so good. Alright, anyway. So, in the beginning, like the first or second scene, we're introduced to those weird, fishy-looking characters that are like, oh god, we don't want to offend
Okay,
anyone.
Jessica, they're Asian American, please. They are Asian American, though. It's the Viceroy and the Ambassador, whatever the fuck they are. Like, I think it's the first scene in the movie, after the crawl, obviously. They are talking about some trade embargo or something, and the Jedi are sent to talk to them and be ambassadors for this negotiation. And it's two green fish-looking aliens, clearly not humanoid really in any way, and they go, "Oh, we have to talk about the trade negotiations. We are going to be very angry."
Yeah, it's really
if you think that I'm putting on a voice, that's precisely what they sounded like.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any affectation. Look it up.
It wasn't...
Go watch look up the scene. The first 5 minutes of the Phantom Menace. It opens with, "Oh, we need to talk to the Chancellor."
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I guess because they don't have slanted eyes, this is okay. Like, what the fuck? It was crazy.
Yeah, because you couldn't see the Asians underneath. Like,
yeah. You can't see the white people doing the Asian voice underneath. I don't think they actually got Asian Americans. It didn't sound like...
Wait, you think that they just got white people and they said, sound Asian?
Yes!
Oh my god.
Fucking why not? Who cares?
That's horrendous.
Doesn't matter if they're gonna be green. Who gives a shit?
Because that makes... Like, if you just get a person that sounds like that...
Is it better?
They're just talking.
Okay, they were either no. They were either white people doing that voice, or they were Asian people doing that voice. No one on the planet actually sounds like that. They were Asian American people who talk like me and you, who were asked to go, "Oh, hello, Senator, please be so. It's that they
I
were
would
putting
like
on the
to
voice.
think that's
I don't know
not
which is worse.
true.
Oh, I'm 100%. It might have been George Lucas himself doing the voiceover.
Oh my God.
I'm 100% guaranteeing that
I
it was
don't know.
not people who just talk like that.
I
promise you. I promise you. I promise.
You know that movie.
I'd bet your life on it.
You know what was it? Crash that we reviewed a
Yep.
couple episodes ago.
Yep.
There was that scene where the guy, spoiler alert, was asked. They're not spoilers. I don't know why I keep doing this.
Spoiler alert: Kevin Spacey was a child molester the whole time,
Oh shit!
and also was Kaiser Soze.
Wasn't he in a movie
Kaiser
where
Soze
there
was
was
a child molester the entire time.
Wasn't he in a
It's
movie?
a spoiler.
Wasn't he in a movie where there was a 14-year-old girl that he was trying to fuck?
American Beauty. She was 17, I think. I
I don't know.
I might be wrong.
I don't think she was of age,
maybe
but anyway.
I mean, 17's not of age, I guess.
Yes, it is. Well, it depends on what state you're in. I
Yeah,
guess.
maybe she was.
17
I don't
in
care.
New York,
I don't know or care. Anyway,
Okay.
what's the point?
I lost it because you kept on interrupting me like
Fair
a
enough.
whore. What did I say before you said the Kevin Spacey thing?
Chinesey.
Oh, where in Crash the guy was saying like you need to get this black guy to talk more black. I would hope
on
that
the
would
set of a
be
movie.
that would be my ideal situation in this movie where he's like, okay, we're gonna get Asian Americans and we're going to have them, or just Asians, and just have them
Put on a voice.
exaggerate what they already sound like.
I'm gonna level with you. Frankly, I think that might be worse. I
get like to seek out
Make
Asians.
fun of your own. Making a black person do blackface seems somehow grosser than a white person
All
doing
three of them
blackface.
are terrible. Yeah, I guess so. You know, all three of them are terrible options.
You're
but
making
I guess,
fun of the person doing it.
Yeah.
And making them be the instrument whereby you do it. And also using that to say, well, I'm absolved of it. It's an Asian person talking like an Asian. You can't get mad at us for that. It's worse.
My God.
It's worse. I don't think that was the case.
Yeah.
But if it is, frankly, worse. And then,
they would be like seeking them out in the first place to say, like, it wasn't just like, oh, they just so happen to have an accent. Let's work this into the movie. Like, that definitely was not the case.
And then I've seen a shocking number of. I've seen Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail, Medea's Big Fat Family Reunion. I've seen both Big Mama's House movies. I've seen almost all of at least Will Smith's filmography. I'll tell you what's, if you let me finish my sentence.
Okay.
God damn. I've seen Why Did I Get Married and Why Did I Get Married Too. I've seen a lot of movies wherein black people are, and like any superhero movie too, from 70s, 80s, 90s, even Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man swings by with pizzas because he's delivering pizzas as Peter Parker, and then he has to, go faster. And I don't remember, Darnell Rollins or something. The black guy goes, "Damn, Spider-Man stole that dude's pizzas." I've seen a lot of black people shucking and jiving in movies. A lot.
Okay.
Jar Jar Binks is the worst fucking example of that I've ever seen in a movie.
Like, first of all,
in my entire fucking life.
Jar Jar Binks starts out sounding like African from Africa.
Yeah, like a racist, like a 19th century portrayal. This would be like dialogue I'd read from a book written in the Belgian Congo in 1891.
But then, like,
Dazes went to the bestest, worstest places of the. It's what the fuck is this?
But then halfway or 3/4 into the movie, he switches to just like current, like a ghetto kind of situation.
Oh snap! We saw warriors.
It was so weird.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most characters usually are one stereotype.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks was all of them.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks was every I'm surprised he wasn't eating a watermelon at some point. I'm surprised he wasn't biting into a whole unpeeled watermelon at some point in this movie.
Oh my God.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, and they made him I don't know if it's racist in that they made him a piece of shit as a character.
We should go to the worst, mostest place of the... Oh, God.
It was how he talked, and then it was also... Every single action that he did was annoying to us. It was annoying to the characters around him. Like, he was just...
He was a savage.
Yeah.
There's another word for it that I'm not going to use. But also, Jar Jar Binks, a lot of the other Naboo... whatever they're called, Gungans, I don't remember. A lot of whatever Jar Jar's species is, African Americans, they just talk normally.
Some of them
talk normally, and some of them, there was one who had like a Fu Manchu mustache,
They
also
gave
talked like
him-
a stereotypical Chinese guy.
Yes, they made him like into a catfish.
We still gonna have a plan. Don't worry, Jar Jar. So what the fuck?
It was, and again, they made him into like an Asian-looking fish, which was just so unnecessary. Where it's like, if you didn't get it from the accent, he looks Asian because he is Asian.
So Jar Jar Binks was
They're aliens. They don't
even
need...
among his species was some weird stereotype.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that's true. They made him like really, really black sounding, and then they made him like the worst one of his kind.
They fucked up. I mean,
That
Jesus
was
Christ.
so
Also,
gross.
I don't know why the original Star Wars movies didn't have any of those elements. Like, I don't know what the set of the movie was like filming it. No, not well. There was no character in The Empire Strikes Back who said, "Damn, homie, what's popping off here?"
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there weren't many minorities in the movies at
I
all.
know, but do that. Have it. I think I can speak for everyone, frankly. It might be a bold choice, but I think I can speak for everyone when I say minorities would rather have no representation than have this sort of representation. Especially because Jar Jar Binks didn't even get to be black. He was orange. Yeah. He was an orange alien built as a stereotypical black person. You don't even get the representation. You don't even get to say, well, horrible, but at least there's a black guy on screen in a Star Wars movie. At least that's cool, and that's something.
And you did
Jar Jar
Lando was a big character in the last movie, and they had Samuel Jackson in this one, and they did not make him any weird stereotype.
He was just a guy.
Yeah,
It was 3 lines. Whoa.
I don't know why they thought like making Jar Jar, like they could have given him that weird language that he had, but again, like just
Jar Jar was the majority of what was wrong with this movie, frankly.
Yeah, no, he was literally the only thing that I had a problem with. He was gross. He looked disgusting. Like he had beady little eyes.
He was unpleasant just to have on the screen.
Yeah,
I remember loving Jar Jar Binks because when I first saw this movie, I was 4.
I'm telling you, even as a child, he annoyed the shit out of me. Like, I always hated Jar Jar.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll rephrase. I don't remember liking Jar Jar Binks specifically. I remember really liking this movie when I saw it when I was 4.
Thank God.
So, I might have. I don't know. So this movie was very obviously geared towards children in a much heavier way than the originals were.
Yeah.
But if you take away those elements, like people say when they're tearing apart, and we should wait because if memory serves, Attack of the Clones is the worst one. Everyone always says the Phantom Menace, but I think the Phantom Menace gets the bad rap for A, Jar Jar Binks, and B, because people were expecting so much, and after 15 years or so like that, when they went to see Attack of the Clones, they knew it was going to be terrible. But if memory serves, Attack of the Clones is just the worst movie of the 6 anyway. Not talking about the sequels, but anyway, people use the Phantom Menace and the prequel trilogies to say, oh, George Lucas got lucky with Star Wars. Like, he had one good script and then he just kind of rode those coattails. And, George Lucas, this was clearly a deliberate attempt to put Jar Jar in to appeal to kids. Besides that, this movie, from a storytelling standpoint, from a logistical standpoint, was just as good or bad as any of the other Star Wars movies.
I would argue...
If you think George Lucas was a genius for writing Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, he's still a genius for writing a Phantom Menace. He's just trying to pander to children.
I would argue it was, like, better than the 6th one, at least, because it was...
Maybe.
Original.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. And you have to kind of give him a little bit of... I mean, whose fucking choice is it to just make this prequel about... or prequels at all and make them about Anakin Skywalker or whatever. But given that he has to make prequels that eventually lead to Obi-Wan and Darth Vader on Tatooine and Princess Leia and Luke and all that shit... your hands are kind of tied a little bit. Like, you can't tell. You have to put Yoda in there. You have to put... So, with all that in mind, I think he did as fine a job as he did with any movie up until this point, except for Jar Jar. Jar Jar was a misstep in every direction. And, frankly, deserves criticism, but doesn't take away from the fact that the rest of this movie would have stood on its own just fine, really. I think it would have been okay.
The space thing, like, I actually thought it was very...
Space between...
You're so annoying.
Dave Matthews? We call him Dave. Go ahead.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
I keep losing it because you keep fucking. Oh,
The space thing.
yeah, like
The space.
stop.
Don't hit me. I'm a baby.
Shut up. I'm just a baby. The space thing. There wasn't a lot of stop. There wasn't a lot of space in this movie.
Between.
And I was getting really sick of so much fucking space. It was just all space.
Frankly,
So
I
much
think
space.
if that's your opinion, Star Wars might not be for you. Which I think the title.
No, it was just like, I don't care if it's like the whole space thing was like we're going from planet to planet. But there was just a lot of spaceship bullshit that I was like, please stop. But with this one, there was almost no spaceship fighting. There was one scene and that was it. And it was very brief. Also, like, Anakin goes in there and he blows up the fucking... It just was so ridiculous.
One problem I did have, and again, I'm not saying if you take out Jar Jar, this is a fantastic movie. I'm saying it's fine. It's
just
not
like the rest
such
of
a
them.
departure from the rest of them that it goes from a 7 to an 8 to a 9 to a 1. Like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Without Jar Jar, they go from whatever, a 7 to an 8 to a 7 to a 6.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever. Who cares? But
Yeah, I would say
one
Jar Jar
thing,
takes it down like a number, but I don't.
yeah, maybe more. But one thing that I did notice was that everything in this movie was introduced like, oh, there's a problem, there's a conflict, there's a hurdle that you have to overcome, and then it was immediately overcome.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Anakin when he was doing his pod racing, for example, like, oh no, one of his engines shut off, and then he flicked a switch twice and pulled a lever, and then it just turned back on, and you won the race.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, he didn't have to be all that ingenuitive. He didn't have to figure anything out. He didn't have
Towards
to
the
use
end, his machine straight up like broke down, and he was being very.
I mean, there were,
I love that.
but it kept happening like time and time again.
No,
where,
you're
like,
right. Like,
oh, Qui-Gon needs to win this bet. He uses the Force so that the dice lands where he wants it to land.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's every single time a small hurdle shows up, whatever character is facing it can very easily clear it without any sort of.
There were a couple times
problems.
with the droids too that you said where you were like, literally there was a problem and said droid fix it, and it immediately just is fixed, and that's
like
it.
in whatever it was, I think Return of the Jedi, like R2 tried to open something and he short circuited him. Han tried to hotwire a door and it made another door close on him. Bad.
Yeah.
Like, these guys, they just, oh, you need the door open? Okay, it's open now.
Yeah.
Yep. You turn the knob and you push it open.
Yeah.
Like, there's no struggle.
Again, now that I think we've set the, precedent that I don't think these movies were... I don't think this movie was any worse than any of the other three, really.
Sure.
Maybe a tiny bit, but not really, even.
Sure.
I dug into the last ones. Let's dig into this fucking movie, because there was a lot of shit that I hated, too.
You've got to go dig them
Like the
holes.
fact that they...
Stanley
I
and that's...
think you're doing a holes, but I don't know why. There was a lot of shit in this movie that I did not like. I had a point before I started this. What were you saying about him?
Shouldn't his
The
name be
problems were
Vis
overcome?
Stanley?
What?
Because he's Stanley Yelnats the fourth.
I
And the
don't
whole
care
thing
about
is that
this.
his name is a palindrome. So shouldn't it be
Well, the
Vis
original
Stanley?
guy's name was a palindrome. Probably.
I don't know. So then name your son E. Stanley. And then E. Stanley, and then Stanley Yelnats, as we know him, should be Vis Stanley Yelnats the fourth. Obviously. I guess then you wouldn't be the fourth.
You wouldn't...
Bit of a catch-22 we got there, dear reader.
Oh my god, how did we land on this?
Well, you started talking about digging, and I started singing the whole song.
Digging. Okay.
And this is this thought that I've had in my private reflections, maybe once a month for the past year or so.
And you think that my
up quite a lot.
thoughts are not worth digging into?
No, your thoughts don't make any sense.
Yours
and
are
aren't
just
worth
fucking
digging
weird,
into.
man.
Mine make perfect sense. They again, you're right. They might not be worth exploring, but they make sense.
Okay, whatever. I like how you're using my foot cream on your wrist. That's weird.
Thanks.
It's a weird thing to have done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we can start talking. Speaking of the racism,
We can start talking
about the
I've got some great news.
issues
We're about 40. Oh yeah, go ahead.
in this movie.
About 40 minutes ahead of where you think we are, but yeah, jump right in.
So you were saying that there was no obstacles to overcome. What the fuck was I gonna say about that? Ugh, it's gone. Whatever. Anyway, women. I literally just wrote women. There weren't many women in this.
Women?
Women?
Don't bother.
Like, there aren't many minorities. There also aren't many women, and that bugs the shit out of me. And, we've already talked about the whole Leia thing where it's kind of
Well,
she's useless and she's just a
this
sex object
movie
and blah, blah,
had
blah,
at
blah.
least more women than the original trilogy, I think.
Yeah.
It had Keira Knightley
did.
and Natalie Portman playing the same part. A la
Okay.
Parent Trap.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
in the movie, the movie is about 2 hours and 15 minutes long, as we've discussed. About an hour and 45 minutes into it, seemingly for no reason, too, Natalie Portman gives the reveal that she's actually the queen, and Keira Knightley, who's been sometimes the queen. So it's
but
weird.
Natalie Portman played the queen in multiple scenes, and it's like, that wasn't a trick because...
Yeah, like 3/4 of them. And it's very clear that it's Natalie Portman
and we
not Keira
barely
Knightley.
recognized Keira Knightley in the first couple scenes because she had so much makeup on. We were just like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, that's Natalie Portman. Does she have less eyeliner? Like, what's going on? Like, we had to actually stop the
very
movie.
first scene, I said, I think that's Keira Knightley. No, we didn't have to stop the
No.
movie. I said that's Keira Knightley. You went, no, it's not.
No,
You did that
no.
like 3 times. Yes,
No.
yes. You made me look it up, and then I said it's Keira Knightley. You
I
went, still
know,
don't
but
believe
that
you."
was... No, you didn't say it was Keira Knightley. You just said that's not Natalie Portman.
I know. I said that's Keira Knightley immediately because I knew it was Keira Knightley. I knew this before the movie started. I've seen this movie before.
No.
Okay, all right.
Whatever, maybe you didn't. But regardless, it was weird, and all of a sudden, like, it was... Yeah, I think the Amidala was introduced as Keira Knightley. Then outfit number 2 was also Keira Knightley. But then outfit number 3, we were back to Natalie Portman for, like, outfits 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then outfit 8 and 9, it was back to Keira Knightley, but they did not address... Like, Natalie Portman was in the... Like, it wasn't a surprise
Right,
to me
so
when you were
an
like,
hour
oh,
and
she's
45.
secretly the queen.
Right, an hour and 45 minutes in this movie.
Oh, God.
Natalie Portman stepped up and been like, I've been dressing as the handmaiden this entire time, but 'tis I, really the queen. For no reason. Like, in the plot of the movie,
Yeah.
She didn't need to do that,
No.
which, whatever. But also, it's supposed to be this big reveal, but it's not a big reveal because we know. We can see your face.
And also, like,
We
she
know
hasn't
you
been
and
the
her are not the
handmaiden
same.
this whole time.
No,
Like,
she's been the queen,
queen
sometimes and not the queen. It's like, we know you
Like-
guys have been switching places.
Oh.
It's not you're not twins. It's not Parent Trap.
Yeah.
You don't look or sound that much alike.
And they had a dubbed voice for both of them, like, where the voice was the same.
No, they weren't dubbed, man. They were just doing the voice.
No.
Yes. We're
Also,
so exhausted.
also, like, what the fuck was up with that monotone, expressionless bullshit? Commander, I fear that they are going to take my life. I will die with the people and suffer the same fate. It was so weird and so monotone and so deep and so, like, what the fuck? It was
Well,
so
they're
weird.
child actors. They're probably on Quaaludes. But
Oh my god.
what else you got on your...
Literally, it was so... I found that so disturbing, and you didn't seem to care at all, but it was so fucking weird.
It looks like you wrote women.
Oh, because the M is... It looks like Wohan.
Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was not in this movie. She was in The Parent Trap twice over. Hidden City. Why banish anyone?
So, I was saying, like, they were like... Jar Jar was like, oh, I live in this city. It's a hidden city, but I was banished from it. And I was like, if you're a hidden city worried about being hidden, why would you banish anyone?
Yep.
He's
And
gonna
which is
It's exactly what he did.
yeah, affirmed by the fact that he immediately brought strangers who just asked once if they could see the city. He went,
Yeah.
sure.
Like,
He immediately brought them.
They could have been the Empire. Anyway, whatever.
They could have been Muslim extremists. They could have been.
I don't like that.
Based on the tone of this movie, I'm surprised they weren't.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was weird too. Like, C-3PO and R2-D2 arrived, and it was just like, really though? Like Anakin as a young child had C-3PO. He stumbled upon R2-D2, and then, like, what? Like 20 years later, 40 years later, Luke gets them, and it's just like, what the fuck? It seems like there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of droids. Like, come on. I thought that was so stupid.
Well, if memory serves, Anakin owned them,
Yeah.
right, as we saw, and then kept them throughout his life and was good friends with them, and thus, when Anakin turned to the dark side, Obi-Wan gifted those droids to Leia as a baby, like to look after her in some capacity.
Okay.
Hence, she had them on her ship
Yeah.
at the start of A New
So
Hope.
it's like family droids?
Yeah, it's not coincidence.
Well, it seems like every single ship that we saw had like so many droids. And the droids are super dispensable, where they're like, oh, droids are getting shot down, whatever, they're just little robots, and like they're sold on the black market.
They are expendable, but if they're... the theory, again, this is kind of flimsy, but the theory is that a good droid, because a lot of them so easily... explode or get lost or fucking whatever they do.
I guess.
A good droid is somehow hard to come by, as if they're not all like, why do they have personalities?
They would be the exact same because they're fucking robots.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I mean, so anyway.
Yeah, I just...
Be that as it may.
Again, that wasn't... even if that's correct, that was not explained at all.
No, I guess it wasn't overtly explained, but I think it was adequately shown to be the case.
All right. I did not find that.
I didn't find that to be a loophole or a problem.
There
were plenty of loopholes and problems with this movie. And with every one of these movies. And we've spent like 4 hours in going almost into like pornographic details in these movies.
Oh.
I would agree that there are a lot of problems with each one of these movies and the series as a whole.
Yeah.
That's not one of them. That one's fine. Whatever. They passed the droids down. Who cares?
I don't know. I just... Again, they like, even the ship in the beginning scene had like 7 droids, and you were saying like, why does...
Don't matter.
Okay. Calm down.
I'm calm. I'm telling you it doesn't matter.
Stop being rude.
I'm not being rude. I'm telling you repeatedly that it doesn't matter.
I'm finding you rude, so you don't get to decide that you're not being rude.
I'm not being rude.
Okay, then you are... Okay. The word pod racer, I did not realize was from this movie. The word that you say immediately upon every podcast.
No.
What?
Not immediately. At the
you
very
go, hey,
end.
pod racer.
It's the last thing I say.
Okay, whatever. Regardless... Did not know this is where this is from. Ha ha ha.
No, this is pod racing, baby.
Oh, you really didn't like it when C-3PO was talking to Anakin, and we were looking at it from C-3PO's vantage point.
We've watched 4 movies, and for the first time in this entire goddamn Forsaken franchise, for no goddamn reason, Anakin is like, Qui-Gon bought me, or won me, so I'm not going to be a slave anymore. See you around, C-3PO. I'll tell Mom not to sell you. For 15 seconds, the camera, for some reason, switches to C-3PO's vantage point.
Yep.
And we're looking at him as though we are looking through C-3PO's eyes.
That was
no
weird.
other character. C-3PO he's the only one who's been in every single one of these fucking movies. Mm-hmm. That's never happened before. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck start now?
It hasn't happened with any character at all. Like, it's not even just C-3PO. It was weird. It's very just weird. I thought it was cute because it made Anakin look so cute and small. Like, I thought that was adorable. Ugh. But yeah, I mean, continuity wise, that was ridiculous. That's not.
Why would you do that?
How the film was
for
shot.
half of it's for like 2. It's literally for 2 shots that last a total together of maybe 15 seconds. Oh. Why would that? Don't do that. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's weird. Don't do that.
It like personally offended Rob.
Yeah, it would be like it really did. It would be like if at the end of Empire Strikes Back, right before while he's like lightninging Luke Skywalker, the Emperor rather turns and looks into the camera and goes, "All right, audience, you're really gonna love this," and then just, like throws something at him. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you don't do. That's not what this is. You've established the rules. You've by this point well established the rules of this franchise from a cinematographic, I guess, perspective. We're like, I don't even know, 8 hours into this thing. You don't just fucking change up. It doesn't turn into a first-person perspective. What the fuck was that? That was crazy. It was crazy. It might have well have gone to like shaky cam.
I feel like you're
doing the
R2D2 or the droid thing now.
What do you mean?
Like, you're getting caught up on this one detail.
It was crazy. It was real. It was so, as a filmmaker, it was so irresponsible. I'm not a filmmaker, but I'm saying from George Lucas's perspective, it was so irresponsible.
It was just weird. And
George Lucas might as well have walked into frame for that scene and gone like, "Hey, Anakin, you're gonna be Darth Vader soon. All right, just keep an eye on that. Bye, buddy." And then just gone out. It's like, what the fuck? It took me out of the movie in a way that was just so... Especially because this was the 4th movie in this fucking installment. And you haven't done this up until this. You've had this character and these tools and the ability to do this, and you've said, no, this is not the world we're building. This is not the universe and the sort of thing that this movie franchise exists under those sorts of rules of operation. It doesn't happen.
Sure.
And then you just fucking switch that up on us.
Yeah.
You might as well switch it to Korean halfway through the movie.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
What the fuck? What does it matter? None of these rules fucking matter.
Let's move on.
We're more than halfway through these 6 movies. Hey. No, it's fucking crazy.
You did it to me. I need to tell you now. You're...
Fine.
You're... Okay.
Fine.
I'll go quickly, I guess. I think... Okay. Oh, Maul's luscious voice, I wrote. Monotone Amidala. What the fuck does this say?
Popeye. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, whatever.
Property?
Oh, prophecy.
Prophecy, okay.
So, like, what you said...
God, what is wrong with your handwriting?
The Council of Elders, like, literally Qui-Gon brings Anakin, and he's like, hey, you guys, like, this dude is the prophecy. Like, he is the key to balance in the Jedi Order.
I don't remember him being born of a virgin woman.
That was weird.
I don't remember him having that many allegories and parallels to
our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah, living Lord Jesus Christ. I don't remember him being born of a virgin birth. That
was weird. That was fucking She didn't even really
incarnation.
She was just like, oh, like he has no father. I raised him.
Yeah. Qui-Gon's like, where's the boy's father? And she went, he kind of doesn't have one.
That was like,
it's like you didn't think that was odd. You didn't think to call Dateline or something,
well,
like maybe 60 Minutes.
Is she a whore and she just didn't remember who the dad was, or like? I thought she was kind of saying like, oh, the dad's not in the picture.
No.
But she's
saying Anakin is the first mammal in the universe born asexually.
And then
and I didn't think to tell anyone about it until just now.
Qui-Gon later was like, I think he was born of
virgence or convergence or something, divergence in the Force.
No, whatever those little things in your body are. Yeah, like he was born of the midichlorians, or he's part midichlorian. Midichlorians are like literally the size of a cell.
Smaller.
Half
in
a
your
cell.
cells.
Yeah.
It's like a mitochondrion. It's like his father was a chloroplast. Or something.
Yeah, like he was born of the cell.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
His
father was from Naboo and his mother was a cell wall.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
It was pretty weird.
And yeah, like what you said, where they were saying.
But again, I think that was a metaphor.
Okay, but like maybe don't.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I don't want you to Christian me right now.
No, you're right.
Also, like,
no, I mean I don't mean. I think the way Qui-Gon was speaking about it was a metaphor. He didn't mean literally the midichlorians. I think he means like he's a. I don't know. I don't really fucking know. They didn't really explain it.
Exactly. Like
it just happened.
If that's not what he meant, then what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone, the Star Wars nerds say that midichlorians like ruined these movies because like it takes the mysticism away from. No, it doesn't. Doesn't fucking matter.
There was no mysticism.
The Force was lame.
The Force was not explained.
The Force was lame and stupid and gay and this doesn't do anything, in my opinion. It doesn't do anything to make it more interesting, but it doesn't hurt it.
I think it's like a little bit better. Where I'm like,
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters at all.
The fact
I think it's just different. I don't think it's better or worse.
We're symbiotes with them. It's like, what the
symbionts, they kept saying, which I didn't think was a word. I thought it was symbiotic, not symbiontic. I don't know what that was, but I guess I'm
my point though is
illiterate.
It's like kind of like we're getting into like monster territory, where it's like, or like superheroes, where it's like, oh, we were all bitten by radioactive spiders, so now we're like, we have this like weird force that we do. It's like,
I guess, but why is that any worse than just having the Force?
I don't.
Why is that any worse than Spider-Man just showing up one day and being like, oh yeah, I'm Spider-Man?
Well, it's like, oh, either you have it or you don't. Like, you're born special or you're not. Like a Muggle situation.
That was the case anyway.
But I know, but now it's like, it's the same thing like with Harry Potter. It's like you're either a Muggle or you're born a wizard. That's it.
Sure, fine.
But there's not like, they don't say like, oh, this is the thing that happens to you that makes you a wizard.
But what if they did? What if they said, oh yeah, if you have 28 pairs of chromosomes, you can do magic? What's the matter?
I guess, yeah, it's like, alright,
how does that take away from it?
Fine.
I don't care.
Yeah, like finding out I have an X chromosome instead of X and Y chromosome doesn't make me
right. As long as it doesn't contradict what you've already said the Force can do. Who fucking cares?
Sure. All right.
I don't see. Nerds get so fucking pissed off about midichlorians. To me, I thought it was just like a weird. It's weird, but it doesn't make it worse, or it doesn't do anything. It's just a lateral move.
I don't know. Yeah.
It goes from saying like, oh yeah, it's kind of God everywhere to saying like, oh yeah, they're microscopic organisms that might be in your cells.
Maybe that's what it is. It goes from religion to science.
What does it matter? How is that worse?
Because people are dumb.
All right, whatever.
And people love that religion.
What's your notes?
You were saying.
What are your notes?
You said that when everyone gets together and they're like, oh, this is the answer to the prophecy.
Yeah.
You said, because like Yoda was like, there's a lot of fear in you, I sense. And then you're really hung up on your mom. Like, what is this deal? And you said, you're like, if this is the prophecy child, like, buy his fucking mom back. Like, why?
Yeah, Qui-Gon, because
so
they didn't take his money or whatever, because federal credits are no good or whatever. he could only pay for, like, he won him in a bet. He could only win Anakin, and then he brought them back to this Jedi city or maybe planet that they own. There's probably a chair in that room that they're in that's worth as much as Anakin's mother is worth.
Sure.
Go fucking get her.
Yeah.
Go get her.
Yeah.
If you're keeping this boy and raising him to be a Jedi and you think he might be the chosen one, he might be the Messiah that brings balance to the Force, go
maybe make his life a little
buy
easier.
his slave mom. Hey, guy, if you're supposed to be an ambassador to peace,
yeah,
maybe go end the slavery there anyway. Forget about needing a monetary incentive. Just go do it.
Yeah, the fact that Qui-Gon was like, sorry, we're not really here to
I'm not actually here to free the slaves.
Like, what the fuck? But then you see people being slaves and you should be like, hey.
Why?
Not only is it just wrong and they're supposed to be Jedis who are supposed to be the good guys, but also it's literally like illegal in the universe. Like, it's like slavery was abolished.
Jedi.
What? Oh. Slavery was abolished. So to me, it's like, it's double wrong. So what the fuck are you doing? It was so weird. But anyway.
Didn't the Federation send you here, and isn't slavery illegal in the Federation? Like, what the fuck?
Yes, and she's like, oh, the Federation does
Their
not
laws
come
don't
here.
reach her. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, like,
but you have a lightsaber, just take her.
Yeah, literally.
What's this weird little mosquito man gonna do?
My last point too, like,
slice
also,
his head in half.
Yeah, like, you have a spaceship, just run away.
Seriously.
These guys, literally, their pod racers are like junk. Like, they clearly don't. They're not good at things. No one has a spaceship as remotely as good as yours. Just fucking leave.
Give him your shoes. It's probably worth what they
like
him.
that was crazy. But also the fact that they were like, he was the chosen one and Yoda was like, whatever, like, show him to us. We'll take a look at him. It's like,
well, I don't think they believed Qui-Gon's theory that this boy was.
But like, why would Qui-Gon lie?
I don't know.
And
I don't think they thought he was a liar. I think they thought he was wrong.
But still, like, the fact that they were like, what? Like, they just seemed way too blasé about something that was potentially super serious. And that was weird to me. And also, again, like, you know, even if Qui-Gon was wrong, I feel like they're fucking Jedi. It's like, they already know, right? Like, isn't that the whole thing? That they sense things?
No, the future's cloudy and
how
I'm
convenient.
tired. I'm gonna go lie down.
And then die.
Yeah.
My last point, because I know you want to wrap up, but my last and final point, which would be quick.
Last and final.
And the end point as well. The conclusion.
Jesus Christ, please.
Is the finale.
See you later, pod racers.
No, stop. My last point was that fucking Anakin discusses that there's a fucking chip in him and his mom. And if you kidnap them and just take them away from slavery or they run away, the little mosquito guy can just explode them at will. Yeah, and as to my knowledge, they never removed the chip. They never showed the chip being removed. They were saying Anakin has been working on finding the chip in himself. So maybe he finds it. Maybe they deactivate it. But literally, like, that was not... like, this mosquito guy could literally kill him at any time. He could just be like, oh, I know I made a bet with this Jedi, but the Jedi's been gone for 10 years. I want to fuck some shit up right now. Yeah, but why do that? I don't know. Because, I mean, he looks like a goblin piece of shit. Like, why would he not do that? Yeah, I don't know. I'd be like, I want to get revenge because Qui-Gon kind of was a dick to me. Yeah. Would you recommend this movie? Head exploding or not? Still head exploding? Literally the point we were just talking about. I thought it was just his whole body would explode. I still, again, like, even now, after seeing that piece of shit, which, again, wasn't that bad. Say again still one more time. Sorry. I'm going to throw you out a window. Even now. Okay. No, stop. I still want to see the next one. All right. So, you know, I haven't been... More of this trash. This isn't lost on me. Or... This hasn't lost me. I don't know what the fuck that means. See you later, pod racers.